Alright, hello everyone. So because I don't really have any more money to spend on car washes, we're gonna have to do something else in the meantime. So I thought, why don't I do a car wash tier list? I'm gonna rank a bunch of car washes in a tier list. So as you see down here, I have a list of 30 different car washes, and they're all nice squares, and I'm gonna tell you what I think of them, and then put them on the list as to what I feel they deserve. Now I'm not gonna be super redundant about it. Like I'm not gonna do a Ryko Voyager and a soft gloss XS2, and then like multiple models of like the same kind of thing. So I'll try to keep it simple as best I can, and it's also gonna be for the most part, in alphabetical order. In fact, I actually need to move this over here. All right, cool. So first up, we got the Bellinger Condor. Now, I have not seen any Bellinger Condors anywhere where I live. I'm not even sure if there's one in Florida. I mean, there probably is, but from a couple videos I've seen of them, they're pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about Bellinger is I've never ever seen a good Bellinger dryer. I don't know if anyone else experienced the same thing, but I liked when I went into that spin light tunnel down in A Street. The dryers did like nothing, and this was like a new machine too. But anyway, the Bellinger Condor is a really cool looking machine. It's got the colors on it and everything, and it does a good job, from what I know. So it's a B tier. It's a good machine. It's good. Next up, we have the Bellinger Saber. Now, there are a lot of Bellinger Sabers in Miami. I don't know if they made it if like around if like something about if like some of the car wash industries or like the vendors made some sort of deal with Saber, but like there are so many of them. Like they became like a big thing to get in like the early 2010s. And at least the ones in Miami are kind of annoying because they still have the problem that do that thing that the Vectors did, and that they are incapable of putting on pre-soak coming from the back to the front. But I have seen a video where a Saber did do that, and I also really like the tri-foam on it, and as well as the lights it does and everything. So I'm gonna also give it a B tier because it's still a good machine and I like what it does. Now the Bellinger Vector is up next. This machine I don't really like. You can tell it's really not capable of doing a whole lot, and it's another one of those machines that is incapable of putting pre-soak on from the back to the front. Never really understood why that's a thing. I mean, it can't be that difficult, right? And because there's not really anything special to it, it's actually kind of a D tier car wash to me. It's a good thing it's obsolete now. Next up, we have the DNS 5000. DNS 5000s are very fun to watch. I have never seen one anywhere where I live, not even as a kid. I know they're way more popular in the Midwest, and I really like the whole entire machine just like drops to the floor. It's really funny, and I like the spinning sprayers. And for its time, it was a really solid machine, and some of them did have tri-foam. But because it's still really slow for the most part, C tier. Because it's still average, it's not capable of doing a whole lot. And most people that have DNS 5000s can't really charge more than $8 for it. So it's not the biggest moneymaker out there. Next up, we have the DNS IQ. The NSIQ, I'm including the soft touch and the touch free in terms of my review for it. I like the touch free wash very often. I mean, very much. This is what happens when I try to talk on camera and whatnot. And the soft touch is really cool too. I think the brushes are a little skinny for the time. I mean, I always thought that was kind of weird how the brushes are like very skinny. You could see like the bare rolling part in the middle. But it's still a very good machine. It's capable of doing the lava effects, lava fall things, and it's capable of doing a lot. So I'm actually going to give it an A tier. It's a very good machine. Next, we have the DNS Odyssey. Now, the DNS Odyssey, I've seen a few videos on it. Never seen one in person, but from what I've gathered on YouTube videos, it's a pretty terrible machine. It takes absolutely forever to finish, and it's just practically just beats up your car like there's no tomorrow. That it tends to leave streaks, I think, and it's just not a very good machine. It's a good thing that it's obsolete, but it's an F tier. It's just not that good to me. It's pretty bad. Now we have the Futura SSA, the most common Futura, I believe. And I've, as you may have seen, I've used one very recently in Cocoa Beach. They charge $10 for the works, which for an old machine is kind of surprising. Now, this may be a little unfair because I'm only basing this review off of what I've seen. I've never really seen a video on it, but it left a bit of soap on the car, and a lot of the windows pretty much were left spotty due to a poor job at the spot free rinse, if it even used one, which I'm pretty sure it did, but just wasn't very good. And it's better than some machines, but it's a D tier because it left soap in my car. Next up, we have the Ista-Ball, the MNEX 22, I believe. Now, I've been in a couple Ista-Balls. The one in Bonita Car Wash, one of my first car wash videos out there. Is an excellent machine. I like that it can come with a contouring dryer, and at least some of them have the lava fall options. It's a little slow, but I don't really have too much of a problem with it because it's still like it's always fun. It's a fun machine to watch, and the brushes on it are great, and it's a good machine. I'm actually going to put it as an A tier because I like what it does. I like what it's capable of. Next up, we have the Laserwash 360. Now, I'm really into Laserwash 360s for the most part. I like how fast they go, but sometimes I also don't like it because I feel like it may not be thorough enough when it goes too fast. But like when they designed this machine, they really put a big emphasis on like getting you in and out as fast as possible, and they did a great job without really sacrificing car wash quality. Now, the really good ones are awesome, but there are some that are like really cheap. I mean, like at least in that they didn't really get a lot of the accessories, like the one that I've seen in Miami, the 360 Plus. But I'm gonna give it a B tier. No, actually A tier, because it's a really good machine. It does an excellent job, especially the ones that have the lights and the lava fall, whatever PDQ calls it. I don't know. They all have different names for it, but I'm just gonna call it lava fall for today. So next up, we have the Laserwash 4000. Laserwash 4000 is pretty much my childhood. That's my earliest memory of a car wash. It was definitely in a Laserwash 4000. And you know, for its time, Laserwash 4000 was an excellent machine, even if it did waste a lot of water, like people say. Well, 'cause that's just the technology that was available at the time. But because it was for really ahead of its time, kinda, and not to mention the docking dryer was always worked really well, and it always got your car pretty clean for the most part. So it's a B tier. Next up, we have the Laserwash T5. Laserwash T5 is a pretty boring machine to me. It's a very mediocre machine. So no better place to put it than C tier because it's just average. And sometimes I think it's slower than a Laserwash 4000, like at least some machines I've seen. I do like the trifoam knot sprayers on it. When they work properly, they do a great job. But yeah, my only gripe with it is on car wash owners being stupid in that I don't know if it's just the fault of them or the machine itself, but like when I see Laserwash T5s never utilize the top sprayers or like for the spot free rinse or anything, that's just a big missed opportunity and just like you're wasting time by doing that. But it's still a C tier because it's not really capable of anything special. It's still pretty simple. It's just a slightly better Laserwash 4000, at least kinda, but not really. Next, we have the Magic Wand Nexus. Now, this machine is okay, but not great. I've seen videos on it, but I'm obviously forgetting how they were. There's not much I can say about it. It does a decent job, but I think it's another one of those machines that's incapable of putting on pre-soak from the back to the front if they're trying to give two passes of it. So I'm going to have it as D tier because it's just, it's kind of outdated and I don't really see them anymore, I don't think. Now, this next one, it's a little hard to see because it cropped these, setting the pictures a square, cropped out the sides of it. But here we have a Mark 7 Aquajet XT. Like, I'm not going to do multiple models of Mark 7 because it's probably pretty redundant, but I do have another one just because it's very different in a little bit. But the Mark 7 Aquajet is probably my favorite soft touch-free machine out there. I like it way more than a Laserwash because I like the way the sprayers drop down and they can like spin back and forth to like get certain parts of the car. It's just a really fun machine to watch, especially when you're in it. And it does an excellent job. It probably does the best job out of any touch-free car wash I've ever seen. And for that, I'm giving it an S tier. It's awesome. Next up, I know might be breaking the rules a little bit, but I thought just because it's looks very different and it's pretty iconic, this is the Mark 7 Aquajet GTO 500, I believe. Just because they just looked really cool, and I think they were kind of ahead of its time. Although it was a machine that's incapable of putting pre-soak from the back to the front. Because of just the design and how it tells you everything it's doing for the most part, I'll still forgive its pre-soak stupidity and keep it as an A tier. Obviously, the XT is better, but it's still a cool machine. It just looks really funny, and I wish I could have seen one. Although it's cropped out, this is the Mark 7 Soft Wash XT. I've seen some pretty bad ones. I've seen some pretty good ones. But when set up properly and when they, give them all like a lot of the accessories and whatnot, the Mark 7 Soft Wash is very solid. And not much else I could say about it. It's an A tier. It does an excellent job. It's capable of doing a lot. The best one was probably that one I found in a 7-Eleven that had the lava fall thing, whatever they call it. X the Great Machines. It's A tier. Next we have the New Star Soft Touch. Not too into these that much. They're pretty slow. You don't really know what's going on every time you get it. At least the video ones I've seen on YouTube, they're pretty boring. Also, they start from the back. Not really sure why that. And like some car washes do that. Like the G5, that was always annoying. But it's just not that great. It's not capable of a whole lot, so I'm gonna keep it as D tier. Next, we have the Oasis Typhoon. Now, I understand what Oasis was trying to do when they made this machine. Basically, just like make the fastest car wash possible. But it kind of sacrifices, customer experience. Like, you don't really know what to look at. It's like, oh, you got water coming from the right, got water coming from the left, got water coming from the front. You got all sorts of things coming from so many different directions. And then the car wash, next thing you know, the car wash is finished after like a minute and you feel like you got ripped off. And because of that, it's just kind of an annoying machine. I like what it's capable of doing a lot, but it's just not that cool, fun to watch because it's just you don't know what to look at. Next, we have the PDQ Tandem. Now, I've always wanted to see a PDQ Tandem in real life. I think I saw there's one in Gainesville or something. At least it's the only one I've heard of in Florida. But one thing that's always funny about where I'm from, which is Miami, the soft touch of choice for pretty much every car wash owner is a Ryko soft gloss, while the touch free of choice is a Laserwash. And like they're just all over the place in Miami. Like you're not gonna find any other machine just about other than the Bellinger Saber, I guess. But that's pretty much every car wash there is in Miami. Like you're not gonna really find anything else. There was that one fluke of a Mark 7 in that 7-Eleven, but that's the only time I've ever seen a Mark 7 in Miami, I think. But anyway, PDQ Tandem is a really fun machine to watch. I love it a lot, and I wish I could see one in real life. and it's an S tier. It's an excellent machine. It does a great job. It does so many things. I love it. Now we're gonna hit the Ryko R7B. I gotta be honest. I've been in one R7B. I'm probably gonna piss people off what I'm about to say, but I really don't care. When I go to a car wash, it needs to be more than just rare for it to be good. Like, I know like I like irritated people by like kind of being where I was just kind of like annoyed by the whole R7B and like what it did, and like people wanted me to see it so bad just because it's a rare system, but like I need more than that. Like if I'm actually going to get a car wash, I want it to also clean my car. You know what it's supposed to do. And that R7B I used at the Silver Star, I mean, drove out of my way home just to see it, and it like wasn't really worth it at all. There were spots all over my window. The soap coverage was terrible. There was no real rinse cycle before it started drying, and it just all around just wasn't that special. And there's a reason why it's obsolete now, because we have better technology. Screw the R7B. It's a D tier, and the only reason it's not an F tier is because I really like the spinning fan brush thing. That just looks really cool. I do like that. But yeah, it's also probably a reason why people have gone away from filament brushes, because they don't exactly do a good job. Next, we have the Ryko Radius. Now, I kind of like the Ryko Radius, but I don't think it's better than a Laserwash 360 or maybe a Washboard. It's like probably my least favorite of all the modern touch frees, because it's still kind of behind the times in terms of its capabilities a little bit and like speed. Like the wash arm for it, like a new machine, it's really slow. It's like the speed of a Laserwash G5, and it's just kind of surprising. Also, and a lot of car wash owners, like after that original high pressure rinse, they just have everything come from the top, and it goes like way too fast, and it's just like you would like a little bit more from it. I don't know if that's the fault of the radius, but a lot of times it is, because that's how people always seem to set them up. I've never seen a radius before, but I've seen plenty of them on video. So I'm gonna have to give it a C tier, because it's not as good as it should be. Next, I only included this one just so I can get the car wash numbers things we're doing to 30 and not 29. We have the Ryko Ultrasonic 2001 rollover. This machine is pretty unnecessary, and I think that's a good reason why no one has one. Why there's like probably one in like every state, maybe. I don't know. It's not capable of a whole lot, and it just doesn't do that much in general. So, kind of like exactly what I just said. But and it's also, once again, I think it's another machine that's incapable of putting pre-soak from the back to the front. D tier. All right, now we got the normal Ryko Ultrasonic 2001. Now, believe it or not, at least I'm gonna compare it with like its counterparts of the times. You know, for Laserwash 4000, you know, Wash World High Velocity, those kind of machines. And to be honest, like it was kind of ahead of its time. It was ahead of its competitors a little bit. I know a lot of people don't really like this machine, but it was it was like the only car wash where like it had top sprayers. That wasn't really a thing that happened until later. And it's always good to have top sprayers. You know, it saves a lot of time. Of course, they always make it go super fast, so it's kind of annoying. But also, I think every ultrasonic came with trifoam sprayers as well. Not every Laserwash 4000 had trifoam. At least in the beginning, they didn't. So it's a B tier because it was kind of ahead of its time, at least when it first came out. Next up, we have the Softgloss Max, or the Max 5. Combine the two of them together. I may be biased because I'm from Miami and this is like all we had. But still, I think it's one of the best soft touches out there. You can judge me all you want, but I like the wheel blasters. I love how thorough it is. Like you'll get like the brushes going by your car like 2, 3, or 3 times. Also, the lights on the Max 5 now are really fun to see. And it's just all around an excellent machine. It's very thorough. It doesn't beat up your car too bad, at least the top brush kind of does, but it does an excellent job, and it's got the rain shield, the color wave. It's all excellent in my opinion. Now, I normally wasn't going to include this, but I feel like I should because it was also really common, at least before the Max came out. We have the Softgloss XS2, or the XS even. This machine was also kind of ahead of its time. Can't lie. There are some really bad ones out there, ones that aren't really capable of anything. But then there are also some where people like went all out and they got like they got the rocker panel blasters that go up, that go up and down. They look really funny. They got like all sorts of like chemicals after the wash cycle. So if you find a good one, it's a great machine. A tier. There's still quite a few XS2s around Florida if you really look for it, particularly Miami. Next up, we have the Softgloss Max 3. Now, the Max 3 is a machine that nobody really gets. Probably don't know really sure why. It's probably just expensive, more expensive than a Max 5, I would assume, which is why no one gets one. I'm always a fan of hybrid style car washes, ones that if you get the top wash, they give you like a combination touch-free soft touch. And at least from what I've seen, I remember there was a place in a car wash in Coral Way that had like I don't think it was an actual Max 3, but it was like an older one. It was an older Ryko rollover kinda, or like hybrids machine. And I remember doing a really good job, but then they got rid of it like really quickly. Like it only had it for like a year or two, and they replaced it with a Max 5. I was not really sure why they did that, but from what I remember and what I've seen on YouTube, the Max 3 is a great machine. Wish I just could see more of them. A tier. Now in this car wash we have the Southern Pride Turbo Tear Gunner. Honestly, screw this machine. It's stupid. I don't like it. F tier. It's just boring. It looks like a train is giving you a car wash. The way it just kind of goes around like that. I don't feel like I need to explain it any further. I mean, it's just boring. You can't really make any money off of it. Like pretty much everyone that has a Southern Pride like charges $6 for their works, and it's just like, how do you make money with that? Get rid of it. Get a new machine so you can charge people more money. I'm glad they're not really around anymore, even though that may actually be false. Like I've never seen this machine anywhere. Probably for good reason. Next up, we have the Wash World High Velocity. Now, I gotta be perfectly honest with you. I've been into one high velocity in my life, and they charged $13 for the works, which was absolutely insane. I mean, so that may not be the fault of Wash World, obviously, but really, this car wash is a poor man's Laserwash 4000, and it doesn't do as good as the Laserwash 4000, really. So it's a D tier. I remember the one I used that had dryers, but it's like, would you really notice the difference if the dryers ran versus if they didn't? They didn't do anything. But yeah, Washworld tried. They obviously got better. Like I'm about to go, the Washworld Razor on the other hand, I would love to see a Washworld Razor someday in my life because I've not seen anyone anywhere, but I've seen plenty of videos of them, and they are an excellent machine. They are outstanding. So I like to believe that the Washworld Razor is an S tier car wash because it does an excellent job. It's like it goes about as fast as the Laserwash 360, but it tends to have few more features than a Laserwash 360. And I just love the voice thing that talks to you, it tells you what's happening. I think that's a really funny thing to do, and it kind of works. So yes, Washworld Razor S tier. Now we have the Water Wizard 2.0, Coleman Water Wizard. Now, I know a lot of people complain about this car wash for wasting water, and people might think that lowers its ranking, but I like to think of it from more of the customer's perspective. Look at it this way. When you're getting a touch-free car wash, the whole process is spraying high-pressure water to get all the dirt off and everything. And if you have to waste a lot of water to do that, and a lot of times you do, really, because if a lot of times when you see those not very thorough touch frees, they don't really get all the dirt off. So I have no problems with wasting water. Also, it's a pretty fun machine to watch. It has the drop down sprayers and the rotating, rocking back and forth sprayers. These It has one of the best spot free rinse coverages I've seen in a car wash, especially of its age. I'll give it a B tier because it does a good job. I think you can complain all you want about wasting water, but from the customer's perspective, who cares? I want my touch free car washes to waste water. And last but not least, we have the Water Wizard Fast Track. So this is as I'm sure you know, it's a two-armed car wash, also made by Coleman, and it's designed to be quick. That's why it's called Fast Track, or designed to be fast. However, despite having two arms, you don't. It's still not as fast as a Laserwash 360, which is kind of lame if you ask me. I've used one fast track before. There is another one down in the Bonita Springs area, which hope to go check out eventually. But from what I've experienced, it's still slower than a Laserwash 360, despite being called fast track and having two wash arms. And for that, that's kind of pathetic. So it's a C tier because it does a okay job, but it's still like it leaves a little bit to be desired. Okay, so that is my car wash tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me how stupid and wrong I am. And if there's anything you think I should add to this tier list, let me know. But I mean, I don't know what else is there, honestly. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And have a good day, everybody.